What up, everybody, man? Welcome back to another episode of Welcome to the World Sports Podcast, man. Last week was our special 50th episode. Now this week is 51. And we're going to dedicate this episode to none other than March Madness, man. But before we do that, I'm here with my boys, Eddie and Brax. How y'all doing today, fellas?
I'm doing great, man. Some of us was on time today, and some of us wasn't. But yeah, I'm doing good.
Yeah, some of us. We put a name on it. You and John. They was not on time.
No,
So
we was
you know,
on
They
time.
never on time. Actually, I'm always the first in here, waiting on these fellow guys to come in here so we can pod. But they're always late.
mm,
All right,
that
man.
wasn't the case today.
Anyway, because, whatever.
Yeah.
We're gonna look at some of the best games throughout the tournament so far, man. But the first one I want to get into, man, was a game that I watched that I feel like went down to the line and it almost ended with a crazy shot. But Vanderbilt, Nebraska, man, they were going back and forth. Vanderbilt came out. It was down 7.5. Came out at halftime and hit some big time shots. And then Tyler Tanner almost won it for them at the buzzer, man. But it just rimmed out. What was y'all thoughts on that game? And what's your thoughts on Nebraska, man, making it to their first ever Sweet 16?
I ain't have them win. I had Vanderbilt, honestly, because I'm a big fan of Braden Smith and Tyler Tanner. So I was expecting them to beat them and then make it to the Sweet 16. So this was an upset in my book. I think this what messed a lot of people brackets up as well in Florida game as well. But at this time at a tournament, you can't really be surprised anymore because and any team can be beat at any moment now. So yeah, I wasn't too shocked, but I was surprised a little bit from that. From that.
Yeah, I definitely this messed up my bracket for sure because I definitely thought Vanderbilt would win this game, but like Eddie said, the tournament anything could happen, and I feel like we've been getting some close finishes, and this was one of them. And I feel like at the end of the day, Nebraska was just a little bit more battle tested when it came to the end, and that's unfortunately for some of these teams going to be the difference in a lot of these games. Is just how you handle late game situations, and so the turnovers was about the points off turnovers was about even, like the field goal percentages was about even. It just came down to the end of it, really, and that's just how the tournament falls.
Yeah, man. This game was like I said, I watched it from beginning to end. I had Vanderbilt winning just like y'all, but I watched that Nebraska team, man. They hit Vanderbilt in the mouth early, and then they just played like I don't see one. I maybe one black dude on that team, but they just play like a group of white boys. Like they shoot the three well. They play fundamental basketball. They're not gonna beat you like off the dribble or anything like that. They just play within the offense, and they don't really make mistakes. And it's interesting because before this tournament right here, Nebraska had never won an NCAA tournament game. I think they was the only Power Five school to never do that. And to see that they in the Sweet 16 is kind of amazing, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
But man, moving on, let's talk about the game Eddie talked about in his take, man. Florida, they lost to Iowa, bro. A big buster in some people's bracket. I know in mine because I had them going all the way to the Final Four, and they lost to Iowa. What was y'all thoughts on that game?
I think that's the game that made it to 0 perfect brackets. I watched that game, like John like to say, from start to finish. So I watched that game from start to finish. And Florida, they was up and down the whole game, but their defense all season been great. But Iowa, they made shots, and it literally came down to the last shot. And I don't know how to pronounce dude's name, but he hit a big three and put them up, and that was just that was just good bump. They ran good coaching. They drew up to play well, and they executed. So, to beat Georgia, I mean not Georgia, to beat Florida is a huge task, and they got it done. But I will say this Florida team is not the same as last Florida team. They took a big loss with a couple guys leaving. You had Mitchell and Watson Clayton Jr. And a couple other guys that left. They made a huge difference, and they still had like the bigs from last year, like Condon and Thomas Howell, but they took a big loss with them guys. So I wouldn't say that was the big favorite. I ain't have them winning in my bracket, but I had them going further than this. But yeah, March Madness.
Yeah, this was a good game. I definitely agree with your take on Florida not being the same team as last year. You could tell in certain moments like this. But honestly, I felt like, they were kind of playing up to the other team's level. Like I feel like they was trying to catch up to them for most of the second half because like it just felt like the other team was hitting more shots. And I feel like, this what it comes down to. Iowa, they hit the shots late in the game. I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but like the teams that's hitting the shots at the late in the games, that's what's gonna be the difference in the games. And that's what happened in this situation. I feel like, I don't know how far Iowa could go, but this is definitely a win that, is gonna be remembered for some time. They knocked out the one seed. So, that's something that you want to see in the tournament. But hey man, like I said, man, it's just anything can happen. Iowa versus Nebraska, that's gonna be a good little matchup. So I'm happy for it.
Yeah, that is going to be a good matchup because it's a Big Ten. You know, they're in the same conference, so they know each other pretty well. Iowa, they're in the first year of the head coach, and they just play like slow paced ball. Like if you ever watch Iowa play, they gonna pass the ball, they gonna move around the offense, and they comfortable with taking a shot with a few seconds left on the clock, and that's just not normal. With them, you don't really see that in the college game these days. So that I think that kind of like confused teams. That kind of probably had Florida on their heels a little bit, just having to play defense for so long. But in terms of Florida, Florida was coming into the SEC championship. They was probably the hottest team in the country. They had won like 10 straight games or something like that, and they kind of like found their footing and secured number one seed. But we seen in the SEC tournament they lost a bad game to Vanderbilt, got blew out against Vanderbilt, and they come in the NCAA tournament, they lose in the second round. So, these last couple of weeks they hadn't been playing their best ball, and it caught up to them after being hot for so long. And now we're looking at a team like Iowa, going to a Sweet 16. But credit, like I said, to their coach, first year head coach Ben McCollum. He wins everywhere he goes. He's got Iowa in the Sweet 16 for the first time, I think, since 1999. So kudos to him for sure.
Yeah, I had something I want to ask y'all though. It looked like on the last play, Florida's defense was like trying to press up a little bit. What's
Mm-hmm.
your thoughts on that philosophy as far as the fouling or even because they say that they were trying to foul or stuff like that? But do y'all think that in these situations, teams should just kind of let the plays happen, or should they like actually foul to try to stop the team from maybe going for three?
I think in a situation like that, a lot of coaches they try to play these mind games. Like we seen it in the Kansas game that we're going to talk about in a little bit, where Bill Self, it was a tie game, and then they just fouled. They just let St. John's run the clock and kept fouling until they got them in the bonus, and then St. John's ended up winning the game with a buzzer beater layup. But I think in that situation, coaches kind of like getting their head a little bit too much, trying to play the foul game. Like in my position, I'm just gonna play it out. We're gonna play defense, and if we lose, we lose. Cause I mean, we ended up losing regardless. So you might as well, rely on your defense and hope that your defense win you the game. But if you look at that last Florida play, like Bryce said, they was trying to come up and press. But if you realize the only pass that the ball handler could have made was to the corner, and then they ended up coming up trying to press, and they left the corner wide open, and that's how they ended up losing the game. But in that instance, I think coaches getting their head too much trying to play the foul game.
I don't agree. With a couple things John said. He said, just hope they lose. I mean, hope y'all can just play defense and get the stop. No, I don't even want to just hope for that to happen. I want to go out and take it. So I think as a coach, they do this just to try to prolong the game or like give them extra time to kind of catch up or like just getting the right play that they want or the right set, especially offensively. But defensively, With the fouling, I think it just depends on the situation and how many fouls you have to give. Like in the St. John's game, I think that was great coaching by doing that because if they didn't, they would have and let it just play out. They would have had I think they would have had an easier shot, and it wouldn't just been like fire drill and everybody he just whoever got the ball just go to layup and take a crazy shot. In this instance, it happened. It happened that way where the dude hit the layup the with no time left. So um, I think it depends on the situation, but um, in the Florida game with the press, I think that was just they made the right reads. I think they didn't have to do that in that position, but so at that point, what was the score? Was it who was up?
It was a tired game, I believe.
Again,
Yeah.
I believe so. I don't think they should have did that. They could have just went man and just play to him because they are a great defensive team. So there's no need for that at that point. But I don't know. I feel like he wants to put pressure on them, and they made the right decision.
But that's
Wait,
what I'm saying though. You saying Florida should have just played straight up. Why Kansas couldn't do that? It was a tie game with them too. So why you just don't rely on your defense? All right, I understand that, but why? All right, you get a foul. I understand you get a foul. You're trying to run out the clock, but why you foul until you get them in the bonus? All right, so you say you all right now they in the bonus. Say one of your dudes just make an accident and foul. Now you losing the free throws. You know what I'm saying? When
You
you
still
could
get time though. You still like say you foul like with 2 seconds, like you still got a shot.
I get what you're saying.
Cause they can just
yeah.
run out the clock. They can dribble, run out the clock. Till there's 3 seconds left, then they go for their move. Boom, second three. It's over with. So they still get a shot.
My take on the whole pressing thing. The reason I brought it up is because I was totally against playing up. Because at that point, like I get it if you down three, okay, maybe you like foul or maybe I don't know. I feel like they at that point at the end of the game Iowa was down by three. So I mean by two. So if a three beats you and you pressing up, I mean anything can happen when you pressing up like that. So I feel like they shouldn't have did that, but I don't know. I'm not a big foul person to stop them from going up. I'm not really a player like that. I feel like John is right on with that. Like you gotta just let the chips fall when they make because sometimes you could mess up doing too much. So I definitely agree with that.
You can mess up not doing enough either. Then they go blame the coach. You love blaming the coaches
You
too.
gonna get the blame regardless. If he made, if we say, look, we just said about Florida, he should have been pressing up. That's the coach fault right there. He made that decision. So I mean, the coach gonna get blamed regardless.
No, you gotta the players too. They ain't rotate well.
Man, they should have never been in that predicament to press anyway. That's the first rule of thumb. They should have been in the predicament to press anyway. Who making the decision to press? The coach. So
Right.
he gonna get the blame regardless of what happened.
Yeah, the players though they got beat. They broke the press.
Stop it,
Broke
bro.
the press. They practice every day. How to beat the press.
Let's talk about Kansas, bro. We just talking about it. They lost a heartbreaker to St. John's. Darren Peterson, his college career is probably over now. So, what was your thoughts on that game? He doing fist bumps.
I'm gonna give my thoughts before Eddie right here,
Man,
because I don't like his energy right now. But I see what he got going on. He don't really support Mr. Peterson, but I get what it is. I would say this, man. He showed up this game. I feel like he played good, so you can't really talk too much mess about him in this one. He started off hot, hit two threes, get him going, but I think this was just a tight game and I felt like, this showed that St. John's is battle tested, man. I look at the dude who hit the game winning shot. He was 0 for like 5 going into that last shot, and then he goes and wipes it all away. I heard something in like an interview that he called that play for himself. Like, and at that point in time, you 0 for and you calling stuff for yourself. Like that just go to show the type of confidence your coach is putting in you, and you could see like after the play, the coach he didn't even have much of a reaction. He just was chilling. So man, shout out to St. John's and hey man, we gonna see what the draft look like for Peterson, but I hate that his career in college is over like this.
Is my
Eddie?
John? You
you
Oh,
go ahead. Go ahead.
um I got a lot of things I gotta say about that actually. Um, I'll start with the dude that had the game winner. He lying. He did not draw that play up for himself. Because it was like two
Okay.
seconds left. He the point guard. He kept getting the ball though, because like it was funny because like 2, 3 plays, like when the fouls happened, him and the coach got into it. It was like he's like, "What are you doing?" Like, because he almost gave it away and turned it over while they was trying to foul. So they got into it. After that, and then to see him, he come back and hit the game winner. The coach had a reaction. I feel like that's just funny, and it just all come full circle. But I like he was like Bryce. He was over, and he ended with 2 points. So and I looked at the stats all season. He's not their score. So just for him to be in that predicament and just have that confidence, that's big on his part. So yeah, shout out to him. But Peterson. Now, I don't understand why Bryce just thought I was gonna come out here and just bash bro or something, but I'll give flowers when they do. He had a good game. He played. I mean, when he plays, he usually has a good game. It's my thing is just he doesn't play when he doesn't play, but he has been playing as of late, and now he out, so he ain't playing no more. So I'm going to get ready for the draft, my boy. Beating the number 2 or 3 pick in my opinion. AJ and A Cup better than him and Boozer. But um, he showed some promise, bro. Like we all know what kind of player he is, the score he is. He showed that. I think his next thing is just getting healthy, bro. Like fully healthy and just not leaving that up to debate. Your health, because that's my only thing, bro. That's why I call him DNP. But if he play, they ain't gonna be gone, and it's just DP. So I don't wish bad on. I room for everybody. I want everybody to win. I want the best for everybody. So I never want to give out bad energy towards anybody. So yeah, just hope for your help, bro. Get right so you can put on and show your best abilities.
Yeah, as far as Dan Peterson, he came into the tournament, and, he did his press conference, and he basically said that, he was dealing with some cramps in the beginning of the season, and he kind of got that life figured out. And, down the stretch, he did play a majority of the games down the stretch, and, he showed up for him in the tournament, which is always a good thing. You didn't have no issues with him, subbing himself out in the tournament. I definitely think he's going to be people saying he's gonna be the number 1 pick. I don't know if that stands today, but they saying that he got a chance to be the number 1 pick, so we'll see how that goes. As far as the game, man, I had St. John's win this game just because I understood how Kansas' season has gone. Sometimes they look like they was a Final Four team, like when they beat Arizona at home, and then sometimes they look like they didn't want to play when they lost to Oklahoma State on the road. So I had St. John's win this team because I just feel like they was the more physical, more tough team overall, and I'm excited to see what St. John's does. From this point on because, like I said, they're a tough team. They're physical. Now, if they have one of these nights where they can't shoot the ball, then it might be a tough watch. But I think that Rick Pitino's doing a great job. And I think that was a great game between two Hall of Fame coaches, Bill Self and Rick Pitino, and it lived up to the hype. And lastly, I gotta say I wouldn't be surprised if St. John's has Duke on upset alert this week, because I don't think that. This is my last thing. I don't think that Duke is the same team that it was early in the season because they're missing their point guard Caleb Foster. I think that plays a huge role in this game, and I wouldn't be surprised if St. John's upsets them.
They say he might be coming back though at some point if they I don't know if it's for this game or if they do beat St. John's, but I don't think they like you said. I think St. John's can beat them easily because St. John's they've been proving it all year. They beat UConn, they beat Arizona. They have the
Right.
guys, they got the coach, they got the abilities, bro. They can get it done. They got the effort, everything, all the tools they need to beat these caliber teams. They already showed that they can do it. So it's just now about doing it at this point. And it's March Madness, so anything can happen. We already seen all these upsets, so what's another one? And I don't think this could be an upset. I think they pretty even, bro, because they
Yeah,
got bigs to match Boozer. I think their bigs are the best part of the team, honestly.
nice. I like Edgefor.
He is.
I feel like St. John's was like a little bit undervalued coming into this tournament because I feel like they should have been ranked higher than a 5 seed in my opinion because they won the Big East regular season title, they won the conference tournament, they beat UConn by 20 in the conference tournament, and UConn was a 2 seed. So I mean, I feel like they was a little bit undervalued coming in this tournament. And like you said, I think it's gonna be a pretty even matchup. I'm excited to watch.
How you feeling, Burks?
About which part?
About St. John and Duke.
St. John Duke. I have Duke winning the whole thing, so I definitely think Duke will win. But I think St. John's. mm, I don't know. I think they're gonna give him a tough challenge, and that's a Hall of Fame coach, so you can't count him out for sure. But I think Duke will win just because they have the firepower and the talent, and they playing good ball right now, despite their first round game because they they was on alert.
Yeah. Let's talk about another upset, man. Texas, kind of on. They say it's not, but they say they kind of on a Cinderella run, man. They played in the first four, and now they on their way to the Sweet 16. They upset Gonzaga in the second round, man. What's your thoughts on Texas making this late run?
Everything bigger and better in Texas, man. You know, that's all I gotta say. Cause hey, why not? Why not? You feel me? They already beat BYU, which was my pick to beat everybody. So why
We
not
see
go?
how that turned out.
Say what?
I said we see how that turned out.
Like I said, everything bigger and better in Texas, man. So why not?
I feel like Texas definitely is. They showing that this made one game, okay, Cinderella, but if you do it again, that's like, hold on, like you got to start looking at it like maybe we just devalued this team. But I think they definitely playing good basketball, and uh, I feel like here I go again. Late game stop making. It was another big shot hit at the end of the game. I think they were up by one with like maybe 12 or 30, under 30 seconds left to go, and they hit a three to make it a 4-point game. Like those timely buckets, that's the thing that's separating these teams. And if you can do that, your team gonna look good and your coach gonna look good. But if you can't make those shots, it's gonna hurt you in this tournament. So shout out to Texas, man. And hey, man, they got some. We're gonna see what happens moving forward in their next matchup.
Who they play?
Who do you
Uh, Texas plays Purdue.
Yeah, they
Purdue.
lost. I ain't gonna lie, they lost.
Don't do that.
Bro, it's hard. It's hard to beat Brady and Kaufman Ren. That boy there, he played with his back to the basket and them little floaters, bro. He's so good at shooting the floaters. Braden Smith don't make no like he don't make really no mistakes, bro.
That's
His
the key. That's
his
key.
assist turnover ratio is crazy.
They take him out the game, they go win. That's how I
Yeah,
say.
they better do it. They better do it. But hey, man, shout out to Texas. You hear me? Because they won me $10. You know what I'm saying? They won me $10. So shout out to Texas. Uh, like I said, I predicted them to beat BYU. I thought Gonzaga was going to win this game, but I'm not surprised that Texas won just because Gonzaga. I felt like they were vulnerable. They haven't been the same team that we used to seeing, like a dominant team, or have a star player on that team, like a Jalen Suggs or Drew Timmy, like somebody that they just ran the offense through. So I feel like they were vulnerable at this team. I feel like they had like a team of a bunch of role players that just you know found a way to learn how to mesh together and play together. But I definitely felt they were vulnerable, and Texas with Sean Miller, who's a proven coach. He coached at Arizona, coached at Xavier, and now he's showing that he's getting the job done at Texas. Um, I think that they having a good run, but I feel like it comes to an end in this Sweet 16, going up against Purdue and Braden Smith. Like I said, Braden Smith don't make no mistakes, and Kaufman Ren, if you don't got nobody to stop him with them floaters, they're gonna be tough to beat.
We shall see. Texas money line.
You want to wager? You want to wager 10 on that?
I won. No, I'm good. I'm
All
good.
right. I'm
Great
just,
bracks. Good
I'm
bracks,
just
bro.
making sure. I'm just making
Good bracks.
I'm not
sure.
bet. I'm not betting against Texas, so I'm good.
I mean, you're not betting against them. You betting for them. You know what I'm saying? Because
We
I'm
can
taking.
play another
I
game.
mean, I'm not betting for Texas either in this one. So
We can play another game if you want.
What other game?
I don't mind that.
Arkansas.
It's
Arkansas. Who Arkansas playing? They not beating Arizona. They is not beating Arizona. You want to put 10 on that? Put 10
Let me
on
get,
that.
let me
I
get
got
back.
Arizona winning it all.
Let me get backwards.
All right. I got Arizona winning it all. You hear me? All
man.
right. Let's move to this next game. Last game for the men. Tennessee and Virginia. I actually had Virginia winning this game, but Tennessee came in as the sixth seed and beat number 3 Virginia. Man, what's your thoughts on that game?
Tennessee is a team that I like watching them play because I feel like they kind of run a nice offense in my opinion, and I feel like they was moving the ball more than Virginia in my opinion. The assists showed that they had more assists. They was moving the ball, and I feel like you know they just came out and kind of shook the world up like, hey man, y'all think we not the team we supposed to be? We can come out and play against these teams, and I was proud of that performance from them. Definitely underwhelmed by the performance by Virginia. You don't want to see three seeds come out and play the way that they did, but hey, man, it's the tournament, and those teams that you kind of go into it expecting them to perform, sometimes it's like a letdown, and I feel like that's what Virginia had in this game.
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't watched that game, so
Damn.
Uh,
I ain't want to fake it, bro. I couldn't even fake it, bro. I ain't watch it, bro.
honestly, I didn't watch it either. I'm be hands on. I ain't gonna say I said I didn't watch it. I did, but honestly, I had a feeling that Tennessee could pull this upset just because of the style of ball that they play. Like under Rick Barnes, we know that they gonna play good defense, and that's one thing that you gotta have is defense. You gotta be able to defend, but their offense can be shaky sometimes, and they got the freshman over there, and they amen. What you know about him, man? Amen.
He not. I don't like him. I don't like him.
Yeah, I don't know. He, I don't feel like he as good as a bucket getter as the top guys as far as Acuff, Peterson, DeBonsa and Boozer. Like he can't get buckets like them, but I feel like he'll be a solid player in the NBA. Not a star, but he'll be a good piece to a team, in my opinion. But I had a feeling that Tennessee could win that game, and they won. Who they got coming up, Brex? Who Tennessee got coming up?
Tennessee will go on to face.
Iowa
One
State, maybe.
second.
You can pull up
Yes,
Brex.
Iowa State. Iowa
Iowa,
State.
Iowa State was
I'll
gonna-
pull up the bracket. 1 second.
Iowa State. That's a good game. That's gonna be a good game. I think Iowa State lost their big man though, Jefferson. So I feel like Tennessee may have a shot in this game. I ain't gonna say they're gonna win it. They may have a shot with
Ooh, Michigan, Alabama. That's
Michigan.
gonna be a movie.
I don't think so.
That's gonna be a movie. All I got, bro. I'm telling you, don't sleep.
Five line cannot score 9 points in this game coming up. I think they're gonna win
You
that game.
right. You right.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey, I wanted to get to
They
some.
play Texas Tech, bro, with no topping, bro.
Huh?
They played Texas Tech with no JT topping. So
Ooh.
Alabama, they ain't had to do
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I said Five line can't score 9 points. I think they're gonna
And
win.
he didn't even play. He ain't played a lot in the second half because it was a blowout. So
Yeah.
come on, bro, give him some grace.
All
You
right.
good?
I still got Michigan winning.
I do too.
They say Houston might be on upset alert.
Who he played?
Yeah,
North.
Houston?
There's a North.
Man, come
Illinois.
on,
The
bro.
game in Houston, though.
Come on, bro. We play defense over here.
The game in Houston.
We play defense over here.
But
I ain't
see
saying
that
I'm telling you what the people saying, man.
And I'm telling you, we play defense over here. Sam ain't playing that boy.
All right, man. All
He
right.
would sub you out in a heartbeat. Boy,
hey,
Hey,
I
what
want
you like to say? At the end of the day, it come down to who? The players.
if they can't do nothing on the court.
You can't sub everybody out.
You can sub one at a time though.
hey, I wanted to get to an honorable mention, man. The Santa Clara versus Kentucky game.
Yeah,
That
that was
was a
good.
good game, man. It
That
went
was
into
first round.
overtime. Yeah, it was the first round. Went into overtime. It looked like Kentucky was going to lose, and then our
Oh wait,
way he hit the shot. He hit two big shots because he hit the shot right before that, the layup to tie the game. Then Santa Clara goes down, shoots the three. You think that it's over with. Next thing you know, he chunks it up from half, well, not half, but a little bit further than half. And then, tie game going to overtime. They go ahead and get the win. What was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, that was a great game, bro. Great game. That's what March is all about in terms of March Madness. And like you said, Kentucky probably thought that game was over. I seen a video of the coach on the sideline, like they had the camera on his face when Santa Clara hit that three, and he was like all dejected. Then when Owe came down and hit his three, he was like, "Come on, let's go, let's go!" Like he his old mood changed, bro, and that's just what March is all about, bro. It's madness. So that was a great game, man. It was a great game.
yeah, I don't got nothing to add, fellas. That was a great game.
Then we also got to show love, even though they lost to Arkansas. We got to show love to High Point, man. They had a good first round matchup, man. Chase Johnson, I think is his name. He had a great showing, hit a lot of threes, man, pulling up from the parking lot in college basketball, man. That's what we like to see. And he had the game winner. So,
He's a sniper for real.
Yeah,
And it's crazy that that game winner was his first two of the whole year.
the
mhm.
boy shooting straight threes, straight threes.
And he know he there for it. I respect.
But moving on to the women's side, since we mostly, we are LSU fans, we could talk about LSU first. What was your thoughts on LSU's first two games so far?
Hey man, they did great. 50-point wins against Jacksonville, 50-point wins against Texas Tech. But none of that matters. If you can't beat South Carolina, if you can't beat a UConn, if you can't beat a
Come
Texas.
on, bro. Come on. Come on, bro.
But
Stop.
we be real. Be real with yourself though. Is that not what the goal is? Like,
Matter, bro. We're not worried about them right now. We worry about us. That's
man,
all we
no,
worry about.
no.
We're not worried about nobody else, bro.
I'm
We
sorry,
play
bro.
whoever in
I'm
front of
sorry.
us,
I'm sorry I'm not doing that, bro. Because if we got dreams of aspirations of making the Final Four, I mean the championship is gonna come through one of these teams.
Who to say they gonna be there, bro? They can get beat too.
Man, them people gonna be there, bro. It's women's basketball. This ain't men's basketball where we gonna have upsets. For
We
majority,
seen them just though.
man, guess what? Them teams that we talking about is gonna be there, and you know it, and you know they gonna be there.
I don't know about that.
It's wishful thinking to hope that they get upset, but them
It's
teams
March
gonna be
Madness,
there, bro.
bro. March Madness.
Hey, I don't care. They did what I expected them to do against these two teams, especially playing at home. They did what they were supposed to do. Now the real test starts Friday when they go to Sacramento to play Duke. Then it starts after that, and we gotta play UCLA. Then it starts after that, and we gotta play whoever.
You keep on starting after that, huh? Why
Yeah,
can't just start right now? It
no,
been started. It
no,
already started.
no.
Just continue. How about
So
that?
did you
That's
expect?
big.
Did you expect that to be a close game between Jacksonville and Texas Tech?
Well, Texas Tech from the start, like my opinion, when she was open, boy.
I never expect that game to be close.
I didn't expect it to be close either, but she was keeping it close in the reps as well for that first half.
Well, I told you, I went where you asked why I'm not talking. I don't care about these games. I knew they was going to win these games. I care about what's coming up in the Sweet 16. I care what's coming up in the Elite Eight if we make it. I care what's coming up in the Final Four if we make it. The first two games ain't mean nothing to me.
Well, since we was talking about the last game, I want to give flowers to Flau'jae Johnson, her last game in the PMAC. You know, she got a lot of hate and on this podcast from some people. I'm not gonna put them out there, Bryce, but it's a lot of stuff that has been said about Flau'jae, Big Foe, that I've been fighting against all year. I've been on the side. I ain't been wishy washy. I ain't been all right, bro. You need to come on do this. I hold her accountable, yes, but I don't just say, "Hey, man, I'm done with her. I'm done with her. I'm tired of this." She the problem. You know, other people just love to hurry up and say that and blame her for all our miscues and stuff in the big games. But you know, when you do have these huge games, now he want to be on her side. Let's go, foe. All that. I don't respect that, bro. I don't like that. I hope that he changes his ways on that and give her flowers every game, no matter win, lose, or draw. You know, you got to stick with your players. You hold them accountable, but stick with them. Don't abandon them when they get rough.
Bryce, would you like to defend yourself?
Of course, of course. I don't hate on anybody on LSU. Let's get that understood. I'm not hating on anybody. What I will say is I do think there's a certain standard of excellence that I would like to see from certain players on the team, and not just on a rare occasion when we want something and we just finally get it because we've been asking for so many times. No, I want to see it on a consistent basis, and I think that's my biggest thing with Flage. Obviously, we love her game. I said last or Sunday I said, man, it's a remarkable thing what she was able to do with Kim, and the fact that they have such a great relationship. Like I feel like she's the embodiment of the Kim era as far as like that was her first freshman she brought in. Like as far as the relationship that they have, I think she works hard. I'm not denying that. I just feel like when it comes to the games, I feel like there's a certain level that she can get up to, and I only say that because I know that it's in her. I just want to see it more on a consistent basis. And so we'll see what happens against Duke. That's the only thing that matters to me. I don't care about them last two games personally. We won by 50. Who cares? Now, what we gonna do against a team like Duke? What we gonna do against a team like UCLA or like
Right.
John said, South Carolina?
We're
Thank
not
you.
gonna play South Carolina, bro. We know how to go.
Final four, we will. No, I think no, they're on the other side of the bracket. We'll play with them in the.
You
Hold on.
can't go beat them. No, we play you. We had to play UConn before. No, we will meet UConn in the championship.
I don't know who
That's
we.
assuming that's assuming UConn will beat South Carolina though. I don't think
Let's
you
see.
play South Carolina. I don't think you play South Carolina until championship.
We about to see. Oh my god. I don't
No,
know who.
I got UConn, bro.
Um, to me, I ain't saying I ain't bashing Florida, but I feel like she ain't been as consistent as a player like she once was after she dealt with them shin splints last season. I don't know what that did to her. To like last season she was dealing with them shin splints towards the end of the season, and her game kind of fell off for real. Where like you really, I ain't gonna say you couldn't put her out there, but like
Come on, bro.
I ain't saying you couldn't. What I just said, I'm not saying you couldn't put her out there.
But you basically saying we can't put it out there. We can't put it out. Come on, bro.
She was
Come
having
on.
some bad performances, bro. Was she not having some bad performances?
Everybody have bad games and bad stretches, bro. It's called a
Was she not
slump.
having some bad performances?
It's a slump, bro. It's okay. It happens to the best of them.
Okay, so she been having a slump from this past season, last season to
Come
this
on, bro.
season.
We're not doing that, bro.
Not being consistent.
That she when she show up when she do show up, y'all be
My
like,
question
okay,
is,
she's supposed to be doing
wait,
this. When she show
time
up,
out, time out. My question is, okay, it's your team. You got the keys to the car. How are your points dropping from junior year to senior year?
because you got one of the best scorers in the league in MK, and then they brought Malaysia here to help. So you
My
got
lady's
you,
on the
you can't
bench,
help.
bro. You ain't
But
like
come on, she plays starting minutes, bro. We're not doing it. She plays starting minutes. Come on, be for real. And Florida, she's not a selfish person. She's not a selfish player. She has a teammate. It's not about her. It's about the team. Come on, bro. She can't average 30.
all right, she's not a selfish person, but she was averaging 18 last season, and now she averaging 14. But she not a selfish person.
Look at she
She was
averaging more
averaging 18.
rebounds,
What's the
more
difference between
rebounds.
last year and this year?
They said higher 3 point percentage. Come on, you look
What,
at
what, hey,
team.
what's the difference? What's the difference between last year and this year? When she wasn't driving the car, when it was a Nisa Morrow team, and she was averaging 18 points a game. Now it's her team, and she averaging 14 points a game.
You know
They
what?
were not
That's a good point.
more team, bro.
That
Stop.
that's a
That
great
was
point. That's
definitely
a
a Nisa
great point.
Morrow team, boy. You need to stop.
It started off as Flaw J. It started
No,
off as Flaw J.
no,
Carr.
no,
So you
no,
drive
you
the
not
car.
to do that, bro.
She was in
No,
the driver's
that
seat.
was a Nisa
Then
Morrow
Anissa
team.
Morrow hopped in
No,
the passenger
no,
seat,
you
and
need to
they said,
stop,
Sweetie
bro.
said, "Hold on, all right, I'm gonna start right here, and you can have it. You can
That
have it."
was a Nisa Morrow team. We ran
No,
everything through the post, and trust me, if we had post players like we had the past 2 years, it would be running through the post again this year. That was a Nisa Morrow team, bro.
nah, bro, we ain't doing
Yes, it
that.
was.
Man, and that's my thing. They have her projected like top five, and that's my only question. Like,
So she
I just
not.
be
You look at the
which
draft. You look at the draft and name 5 players better.
I'm not gonna be able to do that. I'm not gonna be able to
Exactly.
name five players better. So that's the reason why. But I'm just saying, like, I'm saying based off like actual top five, like what I look at as a top five. Am I thinking, oh, I want to build my offense around Flage? I don't know if I want to do that. She's a great supporting cast member. I think she's a great, Robin. but I've never seen her be the star and lead us to the promised land.
You seen the
I,
games though when she has been the star. That's all you need.
games, certain games. I'm talking
Yeah,
about like a season. I need to see like a. I still feel like
that wasn't her
her main
role.
reason. Her main
But she
She's
reason.
was
the
Okay,
in the driver.
glue.
That wasn't her role, but she was in the driver's seat last season. It wasn't Lisa
I
Morris.
hope everybody just because you're in the driver's seat don't mean you got to score,
Man. But
bro.
that's not her role. But
You
that's not
said
her role.
everything good. Everything
That's
go
not her
through
role.
you.
That's
They
not her
move. They
role.
move how you move. They
That's
look
not
at
her
your
role
look
to
at how
lead
you
us.
talking.
That's not
Come
her
on,
role
man.
to
It's
lead
not.
us
It's not
to
just
the
about
women's
that, bro.
football team.
It's not just about that, bro. Y'all, man,
Yourself, bro.
y'all gotta look at the whole picture.
Contradicting yourself,
It's
bro.
bigger than black and white.
You contradicting yourself, bro.
How?
You
How?
contradicting yourself.
She is the glue. She holding everybody. She all right. She driving. She makes sure everybody got their seatbelts on.
Stop it.
no, but what do you have to say about the missed layups? I mean, it's
Oh,
a
everybody.
like
Oh my gosh.
one.
Everybody.
You're
Koval,
right.
Joyner. Oh my God, they're the worst with it. I hate it. I hate it, bro. Them my
I
two
feel a
big
lot of this
teams.
lives in the women's game, though. A lot.
Yeah, yeah. I can't even talk.
That's
That
in the
is a lot.
NBA, WNBA. That's still missing layups,
Yeah,
bro.
they is.
That's why
They is.
people
Yeah,
not watching. Honestly,
Angel missed her
yeah.
fair share of live. Trust.
and she getting the rebound
Hey,
and putting
but
it back up.
yeah,
Me
yeah. And
bound.
she, yeah. No, we know, but see, that's a real All American in my opinion. But we're not talking about
All
that.
right, bro.
Anyways,
I
moving
see how he's
on.
sliding her though. This
I'm
what I
not.
got to deal
No,
with.
no,
He's
no, no, no,
sliding
no.
all
I'm
day.
slighting her. I'm slighting her because of people like you who said, "Oh, I'd rather have Flaude than Angel Reese." You said
I
that
ain't
to me.
never said that.
You
Stop
said
lying.
that,
I ain't never said that. Bro, I
John.
ain't
Am I
never said that,
lying?
bro. Why, why,
You
why not
said that.
choose? Why not choose that, John? And they're both same team. Why not, he never
No,
asked
bro,
that? He never answered that question, bro. You got to show me that
bro.
clip. Show me that receipt, bro. Show me
It's
what I
not.
think. Ain't a Florida off Angel, nigga. Stop it,
You
bro.
said. You said, "Oh, as far as somebody getting me a bucket, I'm gonna pick Flaude or something like that." But she
I
ain't getting
mean,
no buckets.
it depends on what kind of bucket it is. Do I need a 3 or a 2? If it's 3, I'm definitely taking 4. Come on, what
Okay.
you talking about?
All I'm saying is, it's a lot of people who talk down on Angel Reese and made it
I
seem like,
wasn't one
oh,
of them.
Flaude. Okay, but I'm not saying you are, but I'm just saying like they make it seem like Flaude was gonna be able to do some things that Angel either did or wasn't able to do, and I just don't feel like it's the same level. I'm not trying to put them against each other. That's not what I'm doing. But I
Man,
will
look,
say I want more from Flaude, bro. That's all I want.
I'm taking MK over everybody. I don't care.
Oh, 100%, 100%. She the
Everybody.
most, she the most professional player we have right now. I feel like if she was in the draft, she'd be higher than Flaude. Is that true or
Yeah,
not?
easy, easy. She's a pro. She's
Okay,
a
so with
pro.
that, so you just said she would go higher than Flaude, but Flaude driving the. Okay,
She is, but if you're saying if what you need, she is that. She's a scorer. It depends on the team too. If the team just want a bucket, easy MK. MK is easily she's the most proficient scorer in the league right now.
all right. We ain't gonna talk too much about LSU, but we already did. But we're gonna move on to the next, the next game. Let's talk about Minnesota and Ole Miss. That game came down to a game winner, and that's a rival to LSU. What was your thoughts on that game? Did y'all watch it, and did y'all at least see the game winner?
I seen the game winner. I thought Ole Miss was gonna win that game. You know, they was losing at first, then they came back, got a little separation, then they let Minnesota come back, and ultimately Minnesota hit the game winner to win it.
Mm.
But I had Ole Miss winning that game. I thought that they were the better team because I watched Minnesota struggle with a lower seed the game before that. Like they were like 30 point or like 20 some point favorites, and they didn't even cover that. And so I'm like, maybe Ole Miss got a chance of, pulling the upset because they was a 5 seed over the 4 seed, and they had a chance, but they ultimately let them come back and they lost on the buzzer beater. Sad to see because I like Coach Yo, man. Coach Yo, she real down to earth, and I just wanted to see go far, but Minnesota got the dub.
He like her, but I like Cody, so I definitely want Ole Miss to win. Cody is a bucket. She gonna be another top 10. She's not top 5, top 10 draft pick. I've been watching her since she was at Ohio State. She always caught my eye. So sad to see her leave. So yeah.
Yeah, Minnesota now goes on to play UCLA. So, hey, if they can do the Lord's work and knock down UCLA, man,
No,
that
we ain't
might be in our
scared.
favor.
We ain't scared, bro. Bring them.
I ain't scared.
Bring them home.
Update on the bracket though. If we win and UCLA win, and we just so happen to beat UCLA to go to the Final Four, we had to play the winner out of Texas. And
If we beat UCLA, we have to play the other side of the bracket. So
Texas most likely.
we'd have to play the winner out of Texas and either the
Kentucky.
Michigan, Kentucky, no, Texas, Kentucky,
Oh,
and Michigan and Louisville.
I think Texas is the best team on that side of the bracket.
Yes. And then on the
So
other
I'm
side,
playing Texas in the Final Four if we make it that far.
we beat them before. We beat them again.
Yeah, it's better
yeah,
than playing South Carolina. I tell you that.
Yeah, for sure. Easily. I
yeah.
love my
And then
chances.
yeah. So I think honestly, I'm gonna be real. I think some things could play in LSU's favor like it did before. It could. It's just a matter of them playing ball that they know how to play. So we'll see, man.
Hey
But
man,
yeah,
we just got control. We can just control, bro. Y'all talking about the wrong thing. We need to win first. How about that? How about that? Yeah, y'all just move. You
That's
keep.
what I'm saying. Ain't that what I'm saying though?
yeah.
No, you talking about you already talking about the Final Four, bro. Can we get win a Sweet
What I
16?
just said, what's the expectation? You said before the tournament even started, you had expectation of winning it all. I told you, I don't feel like we're gonna make it past the Elite Eight. If I'm being honest, if I'm being a realist and not a fan, if I'm being a realist and not a
Bro.
if I'm being a realist and not a fan, I don't think we're gonna make it past the Elite Eight. I've been told you that. But I'm just saying, if in order to exceed your expectations, we can't be happy over them 2 games that we should have won by 50, that we were supposed to win by 50. You get what I'm saying?
I do. I'm not saying we supposed to be ecstatic, like, oh my, we never did this before. We supposed to win. We supposed to win by more, actually. But I'm just saying, can we not get a girl some? All right, I could keep it going. Y'all talking about now it starts here. Can we? Dang, they can they build.
It started here.
They
I
build
think
it. We
they
gonna build 2 bricks now. Can we
No,
keep
ain't no
building?
build. Them 2 bricks was already built before the tournament even started.
All right, bro. That wasn't just gimme games, bro.
Yes, they was.
No, Jacksonville, yes.
Was.
Jacksonville, yes, but not this Tech, bro. They had to fight for that one. In the first half, they had to fight,
bro.
bro.
You playing at home. How that's
If
not
I
a gimme game
We done lost at home
against
before.
a 15 seed against a 15 seed in Jacksonville?
Talking about Texas Tech.
Man, that was a gimme game. They suck.
Bro. They do not suck. Mopping is nice.
Stop it.
Mopping is nice.
Stop it. One player. You talking about one player versus the whole team?
In the refs, that's all you need.
Talking about one team versus a whole team. One player versus a whole team.
In the refs,
Man,
that's all you need.
LSU would never gonna lose them 2 games ever.
Well, we would never know.
You could have bet your life savings on it that they weren't gonna lose.
I would never do that. Boy, crazy.
I will say this to the building blocks point. I will say this. I kind of like the way that was said because I do feel like they can build on those wins, regardless of them being easy. I think playing and being in a good rhythm in the tournament is highly valued. Like if you playing good, if you playing against a good team right after that, you feel good about yourself going into it. So I think that could play well for us. But that's really any other major topics y'all got from the women's tournament? I got one, but I'm gonna save it for my black spotlight.
Virginia, man. Virginia, they're making some waves, made it to the Sweet 16. Former LSU Tiger on that team, Samaya Smith. So just want to
not care. Sorry. Hope she loses. Hope she loses.
So they making waves. I think it's their first time making it to the Sweet 16 since Dawn Staley played for them back in the day. So props to them. They found a way to get it done over Iowa too, at Iowa. So
in double overtime.
Overtime,
We ain't talk about Hannah her dog go. Why ain't get her no love? She a pit bull.
Hey, good win.
That was a great win. That beat Ohio State. That ain't no easy task.
I know.
And TCU, they almost lost too. They went to overtime. You ain't talking about that. You ain't talking about the good game.
Okay. Hey, shout out to Notre Dame and shout out to
TCU. They get shout outs, guys.
One of those things to make it fun is my question.
Yes.
So you expect them to make it to the Final Four, TCU or Notre Dame?
Okay. TCU. I ain't say TCU, they
Steak, bro. He
can't.
had steak. It's a
TCU,
simple question, bro. It's a simple question. You shouldn't have to think at all. It's just
there's
no.
two teams, bro. Can I explain?
It's just
Damn,
a simple question, bro.
it's not yes or no. It's open answer.
No, it's not.
Yes.
No, it's closed in the question, bro.
No, it's not. I'm gonna close it for you. TCU, they have the ability, and it's harder for Notre
I
Dame
ain't
to
asked
stand
if they
a dog go.
I didn't
Is
ask
the
if
only
they
person
got the
that's over
ability. I
there
asked you,
is playing by herself.
do you expect them to be in the Final Four? I didn't ask if they
Yeah.
got the
All
ability.
right, let's go wrap up the March Madness recap.
I
Get
didn't
ready for
ask.
the black spotlight. Take it, Brack.
He always trying to deflect the question, bro. He don't never answer the question.
Nigga, I don't gotta answer your question. That's how I want to answer. You want me to answer how you want to answer? No, bro. They ain't never how to go.
You answer the question how I worded it. You talking about they got the ability. I don't care if they got the ability. I say, do you expect to see them in the Final Four?
But it's not a yes or no answer, bro. It's two teams.
How is that a yes or no answer? You should say
It
yes
is.
or no. Yes or no. It's
Because
no.
it is, bro. What the teacher always tell you, explain why.
This ain't school. This ain't school.
Explain why. All right, y'all. Time for the best part of the show with the black spotlight. And today we are starting with.
See, so, all right.
All right. For the Black Spotlight this week, I decided to choose the Southern Women's Basketball Program. This is their second year making the NCAA tournament, and they won a game in both years, so consecutive year winning a game in the tournament. I know that sounds like a little small feat, but this is Southern University, like the team that's not even in the one of the big conferences and nothing like that. But that just goes to show how dominant they've been in their league, and not only that, but they after the game, Don Staley came and gifted them with some, I think like some
Earring.
perfume or some
Perfume.
perfume, just showing like they've done a lot of hard work to get here and to beat a team that is ranked and stuff. That's a good thing. So shout out to Southern, man, and hopefully next year, man, they can win 2 games. But we'll see. Hopefully they can. But shout out to them, man, and I know that's a big win for them.
Yeah, man. Definitely shout out to Southern women's basketball team, man. This week for my Black Spotlight, I'm shout out two of my guys, man, Marcel Delane and Harold Perkins. They both ran great 40s at the LSU Pro Day on Monday, and they said that Marcel pretty much solidified his top 10 status with that 40, and that was good for Perk to show that he got some speed in there because he didn't run at the combine. I'm hoping that the Saints draft Mansour because we need some
Everything.
secondary help. And the Texans just need a Super Bowl ring. So yeah, we're gonna leave that at that. But shout out to my guys, man. Shout out to my guys.
Hey man, good pull, bro. I can't even. But we are the youngest team, so we have time. We don't have dusty rings. But
I ain't never even
my
been.
black spotlight, I'm selecting Lamar Peters from Mississippi State. Legend at Mississippi State. Went to the G League, Euro League, all overseas. And then he got injuries and dealt with some off the court stuff. But now he's back and he's in the YouTube scene. He's taking it over. I don't know if you go on YouTube, you'll see his name. You put in hoops, you'll see his name pop up everywhere. Him along with Nas, Rob, all them YouTube guys, man. The YouTube space is something that I watch every week. It's growing. I got a lot of people to start watching it, and I'm trying to get my fellow mate here, John, just hop on the train and just start watching because this is like they all pros. These pros that don't make the NBA have some off the court issues. They're taking a different route to get back to the NBA, and it has opened different opportunities for people to go sign with a G League team. Get that opportunity back and just make it from there. So the YouTube scene is definitely a space that's growing, and Lamar Peters definitely taking over. So today I want to just give him a shout out, and he has a game this week on March 28th. He will playing Zay, another top guy that's in the G League. So I'm in tune and all set for that one. So shout out to all our black spotlights and keep being black.
When we say Zay, we talking about Isaiah Briscoe.
No, he already played Nas and he lost to Nas. But this one Zay is Zay Tovin. I forgot his last name. But he's in G League right now. He's a pro.
I got you. All right, man. Good Black Spotlight, fellas. Good episode, man. That's all we got for y'all this week. March Madness recap and some Black Spotlights. Also, before we go on, we could talk quickly on this. The NBA did approve expansion for the two teams, man. What's your thoughts on that? They're saying Las Vegas and Seattle are the two teams that they approved to explore expansion teams for. Y'all think they should expand to 32 teams or what?
I don't think so, bro. But if it's gonna happen, then we can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, you're right.
I like expanding to 32 teams. I get people want a team in Seattle because they had a team already, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm so big on Seattle having a team. I know the Seahawks got like a big fan base, and maybe they can bring that like kind of college type energy that they have, but like I don't know.
They
I,
say
I would have rather,
they say that
huh?
Seattle was rocking though. Before they got rid of the team, they just got new owners and do want to relocate.
I get it, but like, why now? And then like, how does go? This go affect playoffs now. They gotta add. They gotta
Well,
add.
no, it ain't gonna. I mean, the teams ain't gonna come until a couple years down the line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just got to prove to like for people to bid on teams and stuff. But yeah, man, that's all we got for y'all this week. We hope that y'all enjoy. It was a great episode for us. Until next week, man, we hope y'all be blessed and keep it locked right here to the World Sports Podcast. We out.